So I've come over to do a big harvest today. I've also got strict orders to get some new potatoes for my mother, and in return she's going to give me a nice steak and ale casserole. So I want to get some spuds out today, maybe from the buckets or maybe from the beds, who knows. But also I need to pop down to the Grapevine Plot. It's the last day that I can actually get things off that site, and there's a few bits and bobs that I want to get, so I need to grab those. I've got a few more jobs to do today. I want to tidy up the plot. This weekend I'm going to spend tidying up all the allotment sites and putting everything in some form of order. So let's go. So I think I'm going to take the ones out of this bed. They're starting to go a bit yellowy now, and to be honest, I want these out of this bed because I want to put leeks in here. And even though I've got the leeks over there, like I mentioned, I want to put another crop of leeks here. Now everything's starting to bush up now. The nasturtiums, the sweet peas, the runner beans now full of flower, so hopefully we'll get some beans very, very soon. But let's hope we can get some spuds today. Let's have a look. Look at that, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now they're not too big and they're not too small, and I prefer them like this because they're quite sweet and creamy. These are absolutely beautiful. Look at those. I'm well happy with these, and I'm sure my mother will be as well. It's mad to think that they all come from one little seed potato. Now if you remember, me and Leo planted these, God, a good 13 weeks ago. Now always remember, if you're planting in the soil, that you think you've got them all and then you start digging through and I promise you, you will find spuds that are lurking in the soil. See? Right, next one. There you go, see? They're always there. So that is one positive thing about using buckets, is that, you know, at least they're contained. But I do like the fact that these are in this bed as well. So let's have a look what's in here. Lovely. Absolute beauties. Now I'm happy with those. You know, I've had a few crops out of those already, but for the remaining plants, these are beautiful. Straight from the plot, straight on the plate. Now if you see, I've got all the garlic in here now from the Grapevine Plot. The elephant garlic is alright as well, it's looking okay. I'm happy with those, I'm happy with all the garlic. They're all here now drying out, and I will peel them a little bit and then they'll be good to store. But I did have a bit of rest as well, but it is what it is. I'm happy anyway. The dwarf sunflowers in this bed, now look at them. Not a nibble on them. I'm really happy with them, really happy that they've come in here. And they're actually towering the dahlias at the moment. We have got a few dahlias coming in, but the main bulk is still budding. But look at these. I'm looking forward to these coming up. This plot now looks a bit like a junkyard. You know, my sink has been brought up. Me, Johnny and Ollie then also brought up the metal raised beds, some barrels, some compost heaps, some plastic and things as well. So they've all got a job, and I'm sure in the next week or so I'll put them all in their rightful places. But yes, it's a construction site at the moment. These are all looking okay. The sprouts are looking really good. I'm happy about those. Cabbages are looking amazing as well. The runner beans, God, they're having a bit of a sorry time, to be honest. These ones are okay at the back, which weirdly I put them in second, and here they're still fighting to climb up the canes, but it's all the wind that comes through here. So maybe next year I'll think about putting like a screen on the back of here, maybe some polythene on the first cane, just to minimize them, you know, being knocked off. Because what happens is, look, they get knocked off when they're trying to twist. So just make sure that you give them a little helping hand. As you can see, the Charlotte potatoes now are all starting to yellow and die off now on these buckets. So they're in these rows, and then the next row then is my main crop, and also my purpley blue potatoes off Nanu at plot number 9, Nanu and Grinch. But yeah, these ones now I'll chop off the tops now once they die down a little bit more, stack these up then in the greenhouse or in the shed, and they'll be my winter storage ones. And if you remember, I was eating these all the way through winter. They store great in these buckets. Just don't let them get any too wet, and they're good to go. These buckets are quite good at storing them. So these metal raised beds, they were on the grapevine plot down by where the pond and the fruit trees were, and to be honest, up here they look a lot bigger because I think I sunk them in about a foot, so they were quite shallow, but they're really deep beds here now. And I've got another one as well that I never ever used, and is in the shed down on the grapevine plot. So I'm thinking I've got 4 of these, so I might situate these down here and then start filling them up as well, so I've got some more growing spaces at the back, you know, at the front of the plot. But we shall see. But the fig and olive plot, you can just see all the floral now. It's coming up, all the sweet peas and all the nasturtiums and all the dahlias. So I want next year for this plot to be pretty much the same. You know, the grass now is going to have to be cut down. I want to remove that grass because that is like a slug hotel, and this area is going to have a huge revamp in the next couple of weeks. There's quite a lot going on from this area here onwards. The potatoes will be moved, and I need this area for something else. And yeah, I'm excited to show you what I've got planned for this, and I think I'm going to show you on like a drawing so that you can kind of see where I'm going with this vision. So yeah, I am getting there. It's just, it seems to be a little bit slower at the moment. Like I mentioned last week, I'm waiting for one job to be ticked off before I can do the other. And you know, being the last day of the grapevine plot now, that's been quite a mixed feelings today as well, you know, because you know, one part of me didn't want to leave the grapevine plot because that's where it all started, but another part of me, you know, knew that this area up here would be better for me in the long run. So it's just, at the moment, it's all in limbo, and I'm sure I'll settle. I will settle once this area and this plot is, you know, all ready. And it's not going to be ready till next spring, but I want to keep ticking off the jobs and getting everything done, and then hopefully by next year I should be fully set up with everything where I want it, and I'll never want to change anything ever again, will I? I will, won't I? It's a wet one today, so the sun didn't last. Here's the rain in July. Why do I bother? So today I've got some French beans, dwarf variety off my mum, so we're going to plant these up today, so let's go. So I'm in the greenhouse and I've been looking around outside thinking, where do I put these bush beans? Because on this new plot, due to the overgrown grass and the fact that there's been no maintenance on slugs, anything I put in at the moment is just being munched, and I'm sure you're going through that as well, because I've seen so many people commenting and on social media saying that this year has been a washout. The cold weather, the wind, then we're having sun where we're not having. It's just been a nightmare. It's been an absolute nightmare. The weather's not been consistent enough to get the crops going, and then the wind's knocking them off, and the beans are behind this year. It's a complete washout, I think, so far. Now I've been walking around looking where I can put these beans that'll have a success rate, and I'm struggling. I am struggling, but inside the greenhouse it's looking okay. We've got some Latar tomatoes. The bush tomatoes now are starting to come up, and I also put a blueberry bush in here from the grapevine plot just to keep the birds off it a bit, because let me show you the crop that I've got on there this year. Now I've got 7 or 8 bushes just like this as well that are all protected, but this one has got such a bumper crop on it. I want to make sure that this one, you know, it comes through true. So let me show you what, let me just show you it. Now this is laden full of blueberries, and they're all starting to ripen up now a bit as well, but for sure if I leave this outside just like this, the birds are going to have it. Now the greenhouse isn't hot enough due to this horrible temperatures that this will be okay in here. Now I will have to plant this in a bigger pot for next year and give it a bit of pruning, but yeah, I'm happy with the crop for these blueberries this year. Now I'm going to be really honest, I've lost my mojo a little bit as well. I've been really busy with work, uni, and also renovating the kitchen at home as well, but I've lost my mojo a little bit. I think it's this weather. I've been coming over and it's been too hot to garden, and then it's been tipping down with rain, and then the damage that's happening as well. It's just, it's not fun weather to be gardening in, and you know, you look forward to the spring and the summer where you've already battled through autumn and winter of all the rain and the wet and the sogginess and all the mud, and we're having it again now. Now I know this happens sometimes, you know, the weather can't always be perfect, but it is getting me down a little bit. And when I come over here, I'm on that lull being like, do I really want a garden in this? So yeah, let me know in the comments if you're feeling exactly the same as me, because at the moment I'm just feeling like this year has been a complete Now my beans aren't as bad as I've seen some others where they're just not even up the canes yet and they're being eaten by rabbits and other pests like slugs. So I'm not really complaining because I have got some flowers on here, but the Greek gigantes on this side as well, I'm happy that they've come through. But yeah, this bed has definitely got to have a weed, and I need to find some bark for this path. So in the next couple of days I'm gonna have to get on to, you know, to sorting this out and try and get some stability back in the garden. Now I'm not going to be all doom and gloom about the garden. It is what it is. There is some highs, there is some lows, but I'm just feeling like, why am I bothering? Why am I bothering at the moment? Because yeah, there's been a few setbacks that I just think the pumpkins are just still struggling along. So are the beans. You know, the strawberries didn't come through. The raspberries are ish. You know, everything seems to be really, really back. You know, I feel like we're still in the start of May. That's how I feel. But right, let's plod on. Now I've brought up my other Belfast sink that was down on the Grapevine plot. Now I've got some plans for this, and I'm thinking inside the new potting shed I might fit this one into there as well, so that I've got somewhere that I can wash things and also add water to it, and then I can also, you know, bottom water as well, plants as well, before I put them out into the garden. So that's the plan for this. So I think since we're having some showers, I think I'm going to get in the polytunnel. That has been a job that I've needed to do for weeks and weeks, but it's been too hot or work commitments. So I'm going to go in there, give it a final sort out, and then yeah, I don't know, I'm just feeling a bit at the moment, because even the tomatoes, they're only still about 2 foot or so high. It's just, I don't know what's going on. I literally don't know what's going on at the moment, but there is many successes. But the things I'm a bit concerned about is the beans, is the tomatoes, but they'll catch up. But where is this sun? Where is this good weather that we need? We're having like a couple of intense days of sun and then rain or cold weather. I mean, I've got my coat on in July, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm having a bit of a moany day today, which is not like me, but it's just getting on my nerves a bit. So right, let's crack on. Keep smiling. Also, I think I'm going to rake this over as well and put the remaining leeks in here. At least they'll be in the ground end. They're in the polytunnel, so yeah, at least I can clear them out of that bed, pop them in here, and yeah, at least another crop will be in. But don't forget as well, obviously they'll be okay for a bit to bed in, but it won't be long, you know, another month or so, and allium leaf miner, the second bout will be here. So don't be getting too complacent about having these alliums out and stuff as well. Make sure they're netted as well, because allium leaf miner will come in and they'll wipe out your crop of leeks, wipe out your crop of onions as well if you've still got garlic in as well. So yeah, get that, you know, be thinking about getting those things out now, or if they're not already netted, get them netted. Right, let's get our jobs done.
Searching for something that ain't lost. Have we got our lines crossed? We're wasting time on stuff that doesn't really matter, while wishing for something better. I try to fix things that weren't broken, misunderstandings and words unspoken. We fall apart, and I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you.
So I've added the remaining garlic now just to some wire mesh. Now this is handy stuff if you've got some laying around. It doesn't have to just be used for fencing. I've just put some hooks up, and now these will cure on here now for a week or two, and then I'll trim them down or plait them. But these are a few that I've already done. As you can see, they're looking okay. These are stored really well now, but a few of these bigger ones then I will use for next year's crop, such as this big elephant garlic here. But these are the remaining garlic now. Most of them now have already been strung up, and the same with the onions. You know, most of them now have just been ready for storage. So yeah, just a handy little tip here. Just use some grid mesh and then just poke them through. So the leeks are all in, and what I've done is, oh, look at this. Look. Look at this little rascal. Ah. Let's start again. So all the leeks are in here now, and these are the reserves. So what I've done is I put the larger leeks over here, and the ones that haven't grown as quick I put over here, so hoping that these ones will harvest first, and then I'll still have some that are carrying on rather than them all being ready at the same time. So before long I'll have to net this over as well, but they'll be okay for now. I'm not going to water them in like I normally do, because we've got a lot of rain forecast for this afternoon and this evening, so they'll be naturally watered in. But yeah, another job ticked off. So I'm pleased to see that the sunflowers are starting to come out. Now, I thought this was like my teddy bear ones, or that I had some very, very miniature red ones as well. But I got a feeling these might be ones called, maybe, I think it's called Tom Thumb maybe. But yeah, as you can see, they're starting to come out now. And I think these are going to be a few heads on here. But yeah, I'm really pleased with these. And the pond. Well, I have actually taken a lot of this duckweed off. So if you've got any suggestions of getting rid of this, which won't damage the tadpoles in there or any of the wildlife, then please please put in the comments how to get rid of this stuff. I'm not sure how it got in the pond. Maybe it was a plant that I've introduced, but it's taken over, and I keep netting it away so that the tadpoles can get some sunlight and the water can warm up. The tadpoles are absolutely loving it in here, and I will admit now, you know, but yeah, I'm a little bit, it's a bit overwhelming. So the comfrey at the back of the plot as well, that won't be long now until I chop that down and make some nice tea ready for the, not for me to drink, for me to then start feeding the beans and the brassicas with. So yeah, another crop that you could grow to use natural feeds on your garden. Now, I posted on Instagram, and if you haven't, I'll pop my Instagram on the screen now. Pop over and actually give me a follow on Instagram as well. I post a daily picture of how the plot's getting along, but I posted the ochre the other day and asked people what it was, and there is more of a free leaf clover sort of effect. And a few people mentioned that the ochre has started to flower this year. But look, so was mine. How beautiful are these? They're just absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping to get quite a lot more of these. But yeah, the ochre's starting to flower. Is that a good sign? So there were top marks on the new potatoes yesterday. They have been a good cropper this year. My mum added them some of the steak casserole that I mentioned yesterday, and they had top marks as well. They're really creamy, fresh. You cannot beat new potatoes dug out and put straight in a boiling pan, you know. Absolutely stunning. So as I mentioned, most of the items now from the Grapevine is up. Ollie has allowed me to keep a few things on there, like the mini polytunnel, which will go here eventually. The fruit cage needs to be built. The shed needs to be built. These raised beds need to find a home. I need to sort this area. The pumpkins are doing okay. I've got 4 that are surviving. But yeah, this plot, next week, plan of attack. Plan of attack is to sort out that area down the bottom there. Finish the greenhouse. Finish up this bramble area here, situate these beds, and hopefully we'll get these plots back up. And I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself, because I need to remember what this looked like, you know, only a few weeks ago. And I haven't had this plot long, have I really? So I need to just keep reminding myself that what I've done so far is enough, you know, considering you've taken over a plot at the start of spring. I should be grateful for how much I've done so far, but I keep pushing myself and I need to slow down. So I need to fix this as well. I put a cable tie on here at the moment, but I am going to put a new post in. Ollie, when he brought up the sink with us, me and Johnny, he actually tripped on something here, knocked the pipe over, which we thought there was going to be a water leak, and he actually fell onto the sprouts. And instead of me checking if Ollie was okay, I went, how are the sprouts? Oh, these are an investment, and these sprouts. Let's just hope that they come through this year again. Now, I have got a plan for these because the wind, as I mentioned, shoots through here in winter. Now, sprouts do not like being stressed out too much. If they start stressing, then you don't get good sprouts. So I think the plan of attack is these runner beans at the end of season, I am going to build something up the side of here, maybe like a tarp or something, but very, very strong, or a piece of wood or polythene or something that will cover this so that it stops the wind from blowing across here as much as I can, because I want to try and protect some of the crops in winter, because I don't want it to be flattened. I don't know this plot as well as the other plots, so it's going to be a learning curve. Look at the Swedes, honestly. But if I show you a picture of the Swedes on the veg truck at home, they are 10 times bigger than these. Honestly, absolutely crazy. I'll pop a picture on the screen now, and they're just going nuts. They're just absolutely huge. And I'm using the leaves for cabbage leaves as well, so you know, it's all being used. Yep, definitely now the Charlotte potatoes are ready to be harvested and to be stored. This area here, I'm happy with it so far. The leeks are doing okay, and also, as I mentioned, these are the pongo beans, and look, I've got a pile of beans. Now the plants look terrible. I've seen a few people say that they're very straggly this year. I think it was due to the lack of light, but they're still producing beans, which is a good sign really, because at least I got some that I can dry out and save for seed. But again, these were all reserves, these are all spares. Anything that I grow on this plot this year is a bonus. I mean, I've had some broccoli. I'm hoping I'm going to have a bumper crop of beans this year. I'm really hopeful for that. And there's a few other ideas that I want to talk about later on in next week's video, because next week's video is a bit of a change on the plot. There's a bit of a game changer going on over on the grapevine plot. God, that's an old habit. On the fig and olive plot, and yeah, a few changes are coming. Not major changes on the channel, just structurally on the plot and things. So yeah, that's all coming up. I just need to find some time, but I booked some annual leave. I seen a few comments saying, why don't you just book some time off and actually enjoy the plot? So that's what I've done. I booked off. I think I've got 18 days coming up, so I'm going to try and get out a pile of this jobs, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll transform this plot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, and also taking a break as well. It's not going to be all work, but 90% of it will be to get these plots back up to the standard that I really like. So my mum's a keen gardener as well, and she's given me some runner bean plants, some spare ones. Now I think I'm going to plant them here as well, even though I've got a few coming through. I think I'm going to double plant them so that we get a good strong amount over here, because I don't want to have a gap. Now the good thing about runner beans as well is, like, see this one here, it's lost the lead, and so I will have to put one in there. But the lucky thing is that you can actually get an extra lead coming off then off the sides. So if you do lose your lead, you know, say I knock this one off now at the top, this one then you can put over to a cane and then train it up as well. So it's not all is not lost if you have got some gaps in your runner beans, because trust me, they find a way of climbing everywhere. Now it won't be long before I'll be sowing my winter cabbages, and then later on after that then my spring cabbages, which I'm going to grow in the polytunnel again. I'm also going to try some 30-litre pots inside the greenhouse as well this year, so that'll be another experiment for me. But I'm not going to put my spring cabbages outside, I don't think, unless I've got spares that I can lose, you know, as a plan B, I suppose. But that's the plan as well, that I'm going to grow a lot of spring cabbages again in the polytunnels, because that worked really well. So yeah, that's my plan. But if you're thinking about now what to sow next and things, now start thinking about things like winter cabbages, because you need to sow them now, and then around about September time they'll be lovely and big and you can pop them out. But watch out for slugs. I've also contacted Dŵr Cymru, which is our Welsh water board, and Cheryl, one of the plot holders, I've showed her plot many times on my channel. She sent me a link, and every now and again they give you like a free water butt for home and things for collecting. Now I had to send a little video clip of where I would like it installed, and they actually come around, install it for you. So they're coming tomorrow, which is Monday, so that's good news as well. And it's free as well, completely free. So I showed them the veg truck, I've showed them a little growing area at the front, and they're coming around tomorrow, fitting this water butt to my my drain pipe. So I'll show you that on next week's video. Now there might be 2 videos out next week, we shall see. Who knows, but I want to show you that as well. Now, there's a few other videos that I got planned of products that I got, which one of them is absolutely gonna blow my channel, just make it so much easier for me. So yeah, so keep an eye out for those videos as well, because there might be another one out maybe like Wednesday or something, or Thursday, we shall see. But yeah, yeah, so have a look at your water board, see if they have any products there, like water butts and things like that, that I can give you for free. And yeah, at least you can be conserving and saving some water as well for watering your plants. So yeah, mine's coming out tomorrow, so I'll show you that on the next video. As much as I love nasturtiums, this is becoming a bit of a problem now. The Blauhilde purple beans at the back here, they're starting to climb up now, which is doing great. But here, the nasturtiums this year have taken over. These are from last year. This is saved seed that I've just replanted and sowed themselves. But I'm going to have to go through here, I think, and just make sure that there's no more weeds and take a bit of this nasturtiums out, because sometimes you're going to have too much of a good thing. Also, the climbing rose off Nano and Grinch at plot number 9. This has started to throw off a lot of shoots now, and look, even some buds. So I'm really pleased. I cannot wait to see some of the roses that will come on this plant. And then climbing up the arch this year, a clematis that I planted last year, which didn't really do much because there was too much competition, is starting to climb all the way up the archway now. So that's good news. Whoever said that YouTube gardening was a glamorous job, I tell you what, I'm absolutely drenched through. The polytunnel started to warm up now. It's about 30 degrees in here. The sun has come out, but I'll carry on with my jobs regardless. I'm Danny, and this is Grow Up.